and why narcissists rule nations, and how empaths can fight back on. Look around the world today. Why do so many of our leaders behave like narcissists? Why do we, empaths, thinkers, dreamers, keep giving them power? The answer is older than politics itself, and tonight we will decode it together. Section 1. The Narcissist's Playground. Narcissists thrive wherever fear is currency. They promise protection, while quietly stripping away freedom. They tell us only I can save you. One of my ex-line managers once told me, if you become mine, you will always be protected. My answer was a similar threat of a scandal if he repeats it again. History repeats this script. Tyrants, false prophets, and toxic bosses all play the same game. Charisma as camouflage, cruelty as policy. Narcissists thrive wherever fear is currency. Think about it. The narcissist does not rise to power despite their arrogance. They rise because of it. That arrogance mimics certainty. Certainty in uncertain times feels like safety. But safety offered by a narcissist is always an illusion. It is the wolf selling you sheep's clothing. The DSM-5 describes narcissistic personality disorder as a pattern of grandiosity, need for admiration, and lack of empathy. Now imagine that personality amplified by the machinery of politics. Every microphone becomes a mirror, every camera an IV drip of supply. This is not just politics. It is theatre. It is psychodrama on a global stage. Section 2, the empath's blind spot. Empaths by nature believe in change. We think if I give more love, attention, loyalty, hard work, they will heal. But in reality, this generosity is weaponized. It becomes submission, and that is not compassion, it is manipulation. Here's the paradox. Empaths see complexity. Narcissists sell simplicity. Empaths hesitate, reflect, doubt. Narcissists project, declare, dominate. Guess who wins the microphone? The empath's deepest wound is hope. Hope that the abuser will change. Hope that truth will speak louder than deception. But unprotected hope becomes self-destruction. Psychologist Erich Fromm once wrote, "The right to express our thoughts means something only if we are able to have thoughts of our own." Narcissistic systems erode that right by replacing thought with obedience. Empaths, when they enter this arena, often try to out-care the narcissist, but care without boundaries is the perfect trap. Section 3. The Power Matrix. Narcissists feed on admiration. Empaths feed on meaning. The clash between them is not weakness versus strength. It is illusion versus authenticity. And authenticity always outlives illusion if we dare to hold our ground. Think of fire. The narcissist burns bright, fast, consuming everything. The empath glows steady, enduring, even when the storm rages. But here's the catch. Endurance is invisible on social media. The algorithm rewards the fire, not the glow. Unless empaths learn to frame their glow as resistance. Authenticity is rebellion in a world addicted to illusion. Overlay visuals, fire burning out quickly versus steady glowing light. Expansion. This is where sustainable intelligence comes in. My work with the triple engine, emotional intelligence, sustainable intelligence, and AIQ. We need empaths who not only feel deeply but strategize sustainably, who use AI to amplify, not replace, their integrity. Because when admiration fades, meaning remains. And meaning is the one thing narcissists can never counterfeit. Section 4. How empaths fight back. How do we resist? We learn it. First, by refusing to wait for validation. You are your own authority. Second, by building communities that run on shared wisdom, not worship. Third, by remembering that rebellion does not always roar. Sometimes it whispers, "I know who I am, you cannot buy my loyalty." The most radical act is not to overthrow one narcissist. It is to become a society that no longer needs one. History offers us luminous case studies of how empaths resisted the machinery of narcissistic power. They did not mirror cruelty with cruelty. They turned meaning itself into resistance. Mahatma Gandhi stood before the British Empire, an empire that fed on domination and hierarchy, and responded not with violence, but with satyagraha, the force of truth. Gandhi understood that the narcissist thrives on escalation, on proving himself stronger, more ruthless. Gandhi refused to play that game. By embodying non-violent integrity, he made injustice visible to the world. His resilience was not passivity, it was the empath's radical courage to weaponize meaning against manipulation. Václav Havel, the playwright who became the president of a free Czechoslovakia, argued that the most powerful rebellion against totalitarian narcissism was simply living in truth. For Havel, every lie you refused to repeat was a fracture in the edifice of oppression. Communities became resilient not by mimicking hierarchy, but by embodying authenticity together. His empathic leadership dismantled the illusion of omnipotence without firing a shot. And Malala Yousafzai, a girl who was silenced with bullets, turned her wound into a weapon of global education. A narcissistic regime tried to erase her voice. Instead, her voice multiplied into millions. She showed the world that resilience is not only survival, but transformation. These were not narcissists, they were empaths who weaponized meaning, not manipulation. The lesson is clear. If we wish to resist narcissists, whether in politics, workplaces, or families, we must shift from hierarchy to community, from domination to collaboration, from manipulation to leadership with integrity. This is the empath's path to resilience. Not bending to illusion, but standing in truth so firmly that the lie collapses under its own weight. If you have lived with a narcissist in your family, your work, or your nation, you already know the pain, but you also carry the cure. Tell me your story in the comments, because the future does not belong to narcissists. The future belongs to empaths, who choose power with integrity. This is just the beginning. Next time, we enter the mind of the gaslighter. Subscribe, share this video, and bring another empath to our circle.